So we believe in here we ought to be a value creator, because if we're a value creator, that's how we get this equation. This doesn't exist necessarily in the stock market, in long-term investments. Not necessarily. That's why I said not necessarily. Like out the gate, when you take your W-2 money and you put it in a retirement account, you're now illiquid, locking up the funds. There's nothing wrong with doing those things. I believe in sequencing and timing. I believe it's much more valuable as a minority individual who comes with a load of trauma already, whatever your circumstance was, whatever your story is, that I don't really think you have time for 12 cents. I don't. In time, yes. But I want to be like Wayne. I want to put $1 into something, and I need it to spit out $2 or more. That is 100% rate of return. Where on earth can I comfortably, reliably, consistently get 100% rate of return? It doesn't happen. Bitcoin CAGR per year, compounded annual growth per year, is only 75%. Bitcoin, the most volatile asset probably in the economy. But Wayne, $1, $3.82. So, not to compare myself to Wayne, different levels here. He's in scale, I'm in grow. You're talking to a grow guy, he's scale. Both have value. Know who you're talking to. Very, very important. So I'm grow. For the past 8 years, I've been in grow. My next 8 years, I'm taking a 3-week sabbatical. He talked about you need to be able to walk away from your business and needs to be able to operate for at least 3-4 weeks. He said 4 weeks. I'm doing a 3-week sabbatical. Still good. I can walk away from the business. Checks will keep coming in. And over the next 8 years, I'm scale. Can't stay and grow. Can't stay and grow. God didn't create me to just grow. He said what? In Genesis 1:26-28. What did he say? What did he say? What did he say?
Must multiply.
What did he say, Glenn? What did he say? Hey, I love to multiply, let me tell you. Multiplication was my thing growing up, right, Mom? In middle school. That was my thing. Okay. So, in my business, as a value creator, I can produce at least $2, and on a good month, it'll be $3. Let's look at the math. That means you're spending $1 or you're investing $1 in your business, one of the two. So, in my business, on average per month, my monthly operational expenses on the business side is $9,403.20. $9,403.20. Times that by 12 is $112,000 and some change. So what's 112 times 2? Who would like to make $224,000 this year? I don't know another way than to be a value creator. The banker part is how you manage this. That's the banker part, because you as a W-2 employee in here who's not yet a business owner, you have to treat your W-2, you have to run your household like a kingdom, like, in other words, a business. Because business is not just a good idea, it is a what? It's a God idea. God created business. Prove me wrong. Read Genesis. The whole garden was set up, in my opinion, for commerce. Yet there was no need. Yet the functionality of the garden could have very well be a very well operational business. You had God as the CEO. You had Adam as either a technician, a doer, right? A manager of the garden. Then he created an employee, another employee. Don't get mad, women. Eve. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. Made it. He made a 2.0 version. He made a 2.0 version who was capable of doing the same, if not more, than Adam. Come on, Mom. Let me see what I'm talking about. Business. So what I tell myself is, don't be afraid to spend. Don't be afraid to spend. Don't be afraid to invest. And avoid the distractions of the Bitcoins and the Cardanos and the Ethereums and the real estate hacks and the PML lending opportunities and the this and whether it's this, whether it's that, make a bunch of money here, flip. All that will come in time, trust me. I'm not against any alternative investment asset. I'm not against any of it. I own Bitcoin. I got the Cardanos and the Ethereum. I got it, yeah. You know why I got it? I got it from that money, not my seed money. You don't put seed money into someone else's thing day one. Invest in you first. If I were to ask Wayne, hey, how much money have you spent on personal, financial, mindset, spiritual development over the course of your life? What would be that number?
A lot.
A lot. I've been in business 8 years now. I can confidently tell you I've invested over $100,000 in myself. They say, the gurus of the world, they say 50,000 minimum you want to invest in yourself. Whether that's showing up to events like this, taking out a man or a woman like a Wayne, like an Alphesia Payne, like taking people out to coffee, to lunch, attending masterminds and workshops, buying the courses, going to school. Hey, going to school. That might be the case for some of you. 50,000 minimum. I would push it in today's economy. I'd push it 100,000 or more before you buy a single stock. I dare you. I double dog, triple dog dare you to invest in yourself before you buy that stock you were looking at. Before you buy Elon Musk's IPO that's coming out soon. Before you buy the Bitcoin. Because I promise you, this formula is way better. And you know what's so awesome about the one that turns into 382? You could care less what Bitcoin costs 10 years from now. I don't care what Bitcoin goes for right now, or any stock. If I'm interested, I use the cash flow to purchase the asset. Because then what? I lower my tax liability. You see, I made all this money that puts me in a high tax bracket. Now I have to offset it. So after I've taken care of my personal obligations, my business operations, what's left over, now you invest that, if you can, back into the business to get that deduction, if you can. If you can't, like the tax is like, dude, throw it in the retirement account. Okay, now that's money I can tuck away. That's money I can now put away. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. So value creator. Let's work on this real quick. It is 4:30. How much time do I have, Glenn? Where you at? Oh, no. So who do you want to be? And I almost never hear people talk about this. What does it cost to be the king or queen in your household? What does it truly cost to be that person that you truly desire to be, that God's called you to be? Have you sat down and wrote the cost down? I did. In my personal life, my personal expenses are roughly $8,863.36 per month, about over $100,000 to run my personal obligations and personal lifestyle expenses. And you add that to the business, it costs typically about $257,000 or more per year to run and operate my business and personal before I invest money? $250. So then all that extra profit I make above $250. So if I make 400 grand last year, all of that either goes back into the business, or this is where I begin to fund the bank. Where I begin to fund the bank. And we'll get into that. So 3 questions. Who do you want to be? What does it cost? What are the things I must commit to? And what is the timeline? Wayne gave us a timeline, 2030. You have 4 years. Less than 4 years. What is the timeline? If you put a target on it, boy, does it put accountability. And then I dare you to go online and tell people what your timeline is to achieve your goals. And now you build a community of people who hold you accountable, or you find someone to confide in to share those things. Very, very important. This is what we got to do. Establish the ATM machine. That's basically your business. Now, there are entrepreneurs in this room who have massive vision, and then there are intrapreneurs. Anybody know what an intrapreneur is? Who can tell me what an intrapreneur is in your own words?
Someone who basically thinks entrepreneurially but hasn't.
Okay, you just defined Denzel Rodriguez. I'm an intrapreneur. I'm an operator. I'm that technician guy. I'm the doer. I love that. That's where God called me. And I know the power of a visionary. So instead of trying to be a boss, a big guy, big tough guy, who runs and operates his own business, thinks he knows it all, over the last 8 years, I've spent time just hanging out with the giants of the world in the industry that God called me into, and spent as much time getting to know their systems and leveraging their businesses, leveraging their systems. I have given millions and millions of dollars of business away to those guys, to those other business owners, and I got a percentage of those millions.
Wow.
Because had I flipped it and said, I want 100% commission on this next real estate deal. Go ahead. I want 1% of 100 deals. I want 1% of 1,000 deals. Dude, just give me 2%. You won't even see it. I set up deals with visionaries. I go in their business. I interpret their vision. And here's where you need to write down right now, what is my unique advantage in the marketplace? What is my unique advantage in the marketplace, and how do I expose that to the marketplace so they can see it? For me, God's given me a gift where I can interpret someone's vision for their company. I can go in there. Either I'm a face, because I can create content and I can speak confidently with authority, and I break down that complex vision in their brain into a simple, understandable, relatable, attainable, achievable, flag carrier, customers that want to run through the wall for you type of environment. And again, I just get a portion of the proceeds. Whether that's equity, whether that's commission, whether that's affiliate, whether that's they cover some of my expenses. I mean, there's people who cover my flight, hotels, when I travel. It's so cool to know a few visionaries in your life. And it's important to know if you're an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur.
Yeah.
Build that, grow it, now you scale. Now you figure to scale, okay? So become a key person, become a value creator and a key person of influence that's leveraging social media. Invest in your personal development, $1 in, $2 out. Do this over and over again. This is a standard. Everyone would agree to this, whether you want to learn an instrument, learn how to sing, learn how to dance, learn how to do a sport. If you want to master anything in this life, 10,000 hours minimum. Anyone put 10,000 hours into the Bible? Ooh. Ooh, we got some work to do. We got some work to do. 10,000. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't put 10,000 hours in the Bible. Granted, I am 30 years old, so give me some grace. But I'm close. I'm close to 10,000 hours in the Bible, reading it. I'm 10,000 hours working with thousands of families, one-on-one consultations. I passed 10,000 hours, so I have the ability to communicate with my ideal client, serve them at the highest level, and they pay me handsomely, period. Here we go. Profit first. Establish a percentage amount you're going to subtract off the top to build capital for the future investment opportunities. So the capital you profit, you save. That right there, here's where we begin to build the banking part. How to become a banker in this world. How to step into the shoes of JP Morgan Chase at a very, very small scale, Wells Fargo. Your company, your business. You're running your business to create profit, capital. Now you have to store that capital in unique places that protects your ATM machine. Wayne knows this. He's putting in $1 into his business. He's getting 382% return year over year. No one in this room is going to threaten him. But there are people in this world that don't want him to succeed.
That is true.
There is the evil one that does not want him to succeed. You have to know who your enemy is. The evil one. That's your enemy. So knowing that, we have to put the right protection in place. So one of those vehicles that I've used, and every company that was on that list for the most part, and banks and large corporations and families like Rockefellers, Rothschilds, have used specially designed whole life insurance policies that pay dividends. Whole life has been around since the mid-1800s. This is a guaranteed tax-free and liquid asset when set up and used properly. Now, not everyone in this room is ready or qualified to start that whole life. What do we need to do first? Become a value creator. I need you to create money first. I need you to print money out of your ATM machine. As soon as you start printing some money out the ATM machine, just imagine you rolling up to an ATM machine in whatever neighborhood, good or bad. You put $1 in, it gives you $2 back. You put 2 in, you get 4. You put 4, you get 8. You get 8, you get 16. You do it over and over again, right? Let's say you're hanging around there for about 45 minutes. And some Joe Schmo comes around the block. Knocks you clean. Because you didn't do what? You didn't defend yourself. You didn't set up the right proper protection. You think this is a game? Putting in the 2 in the ATM, and you don't think the evil one's going to come and take? The evil one comes to what? Kill, steal, and destroy. Come on, this is in our Bible. We know this. So what are the vehicles to protect the ATM machine? I'm going to put a bunch of stuff on here. It all encompasses that number I gave earlier. General liability, identity theft protection, cybersecurity. I'm sure you're loaded up. Cybersecurity insurance, legacy planning and protection, legal protection, disability insurance, whole life, living benefits, term insurance, you name it. You get with the right professional that can put all this together, not naming any names, but I know a guy, handsome, 30 years old, been in business for 8 years, has a way of processing your budget and figuring out, okay, where can we start? Yeah, we all have to start somewhere, and we begin to grow as you're building that ATM machine. If you produce $2, even if you produce 50 cents, like just think of it, like 50% rate of return. Dude, do that over and over and over and over again. Don't stop. What are you doing? Don't stop. You found something. You stepped on gold. God put the gift in you. Now you have to activate the power of the Holy Spirit. You have to activate it. Okay? One being giving. Okay, even if we don't have any money, I'm telling you, if you give, you will receive 10 times over. Monthly net income, not bad at all.
The tools and resources that are in the world, like we talked about yesterday.
I have a fire in my belly every time I talk to my moms. The Australians start trying to make a whole ton of money. I need to first